What's up, guys? So today we are going to be going over my top 5 favorite community fish that I would completely recommend for any community tank starting off and or just having a community tank in general. And now these are all of my opinions, so if you don't really like them, I don't really care. But that's okay. So basically, I'm just going to kind of dive into my top 5 favorite fish, and actually I did 6 fish because I have a lot of fish that I actually really like in my community tank. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so starting out at number 5, I am going to say the bristlenose pleco. Now, they aren't like really a fish, but like they are a fish, but they are an algae eater, they are a cleaner of the tank, and they don't get super huge, whereas like some plecos get huge. These do not get super huge, and they also don't really bother anything in your tank. I have had fish die in the tank, and then I noticed my bristlenose plecos are eating them, so they are kind of cleanup crew as well. The best thing that I think about this pleco is its size, and I'm going to reiterate that 1,000 times because I think it is literally one of the best plecos to have just for the size. And a lot of people starting out with community tanks, they don't want something that's getting absolutely huge. And another cool thing is there are so many different types of bristlenose plecos that you can buy, so I think that's a really cool thing as well, so you have different varieties to choose from. Here is the Harlequin resbar. I love these fish just for the fact that, yes, they are a community fish. They do get along with a lot of other fish. They're very peaceful. I just said the same thing about 3 times. But they don't get very big either. So they are compatible in smaller tanks. You don't need an absolutely huge tank to own these fish. And they are kind of like a filler fish. And they also look very cute and pretty. They also are a fish that kind of just mind their own business. They just kind of like to stay within their clan. And they just swim around, as a fish do. Number 3, of course, is going to be the tetras. I think anyone who has made any of these videos always mentions tetras because of how much of a community fish they are. They don't get super big. They do get a little bit bigger than probably like a quarter size or so. They're definitely a good filler for the tank. They're not super active, whereas some of the other fish that I have mentioned are a little bit more active, but they are completely docile, and they are another type of schooling fish where you can get a bunch of them and just put them all together, and I think that they are all around just a really great breed of fish. Also, a really cool thing to know is that they are pretty hardy, which is a good thing to know, especially when you're kind of starting out with your fish tank in a community tank if you have not had one. So I would say that would be a really good starter fish in a community tank as well. And number 2, and no, I'm not talking about the one that goes in the toilet. I am talking about hatchet fish. I think that hatchet fish are super cool, and before I even go anywhere, make sure you have a lid on your tank for these guys. They will jump out any chance they get. I don't know why they want to commit suicide, but they do. They will jump out of your tank. I have lost some. I don't even know how they got out of my tank, but they will jump, so lids. Alright. But they are a really good fish. They do swim at the top of the tank, and they love to school, so it's another good schooling fish, which are always good to have in community tanks. They just mind their business, and they just float along, and they are also another fish that doesn't get super big. At number 1, which is my honestly favorite fish that I have come to love a lot, and that is the rainbow fish. I think they are the cutest fish ever, honestly. I think that they get a decent size. They can get around 6 inches or so, but mainly around like 3 or 4, depending on the breed of the fish. But basically how I imagine them is they're basically like a little balloon just like floating in your tank. I think they're super cute. They are a little bit more active, so they will require a little bit more of a bigger tank, considering they also can get a little bit bigger. They do really well in community tanks. They don't like to be around aggressive fish. All of these fish don't like to be around aggressive fish because they're community fish. They want to be happy in a little community. Like old people that like move to Florida, and they live in those homes where like they drive golf carts like around for a living after they retire. They just want to be happy, man. Okay guys, and now at number 0 is the cherry barb. I really like them just due to the fact of their size. They are very small, they are a schooling fish, so it's good to keep, you know, a number of them together. I actually have 2 different types of barbs in my tank. I have the cherry barbs and the gold barbs. I really like the way the gold barbs look, which you can see them floating around somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to be positioned on the screen after I'm done editing the video, but I think that altogether, all of these fish that I named are very good starter fish. They're great community fish, and they all do really well together. I hope this video wasn't too long for you guys, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!